Have you ever looked at Arabic script, with its beautiful, flowing lines and thought, wow, I'd love to learn that, but then felt kind of intimidated? Well, you've come to the right place. In this explainer, we're going to demystify the language and give you a solid first-step guide to get you going.
So let's start with a proper greeting. Ahlan wa sahlan. That's a really warm, traditional welcome in Arabic, and it's the perfect way to kick things off. Everything we're going to cover is based on the fantastic Alif Ba learning method, which has a proven track record of making Arabic feel accessible and, believe it or not, a lot of fun. So let's dive in.
Here's our roadmap for today. We've got 5 clear stops on our tour. We'll start by decoding that script. Then we'll get into mastering the sounds. After that, we'll explore this whole idea of one language having many different voices, and we'll wrap up with some pro tips to learn effectively. This is your path from being just curious to feeling confident.
All right, let's get right into it and tackle the part that usually looks the most intimidating, the script. I know, it looks totally different from the alphabet you're used to. But here's the secret. It has this amazing internal logic. Once you get a handle on a few key concepts, it all starts to click into place. It really boils down to just 4 things, 4 major characteristics of the Arabic writing system. If you can understand these 4 points, that beautiful script is going to go from being a bunch of mysterious symbols to a logical system you can actually read.
First up, and this is the big one, Arabic is written and read from right to left. Yeah, the opposite of English. That means books open from what you'd think of as the back. It feels a little weird for maybe a day or two, but trust me, your brain adjusts way faster than you'd think.
Okay, on to the second key idea. In printed English, our letters are like separate little blocks. But in Arabic, letters in a word connect, kind of like cursive, to form one single flowing unit. Look at the letters on the left. They're just floating there, that's not a word. But on the right, see how they connect? Now it's the word al-bab, which means the door. So the rule of thumb is you don't lift your pen until there's a natural break in the word. Characteristic number 3 is all about adaptation. Now, a letter's shape can change a little bit depending on where it sits in a word, whether it's at the beginning, in the middle, or at the very end. But don't let that throw you off. The most important parts, the letter's core shape, and especially those little dots, they always stay the same. Think of the dots as the letter's unique fingerprint.
And this brings us to our 4th and final characteristic, the 2 layers of writing. On the left, you see how most Arabic is written every day. It's basically a consonant skeleton. Then on the right, you see the same text fully vocalized with all the little marks for short vowels added in. That version is used for the Quran, for poetry, and, lucky for us, in materials for learners to make sure we get the pronunciation just right. So, we've talked about what Arabic looks like. Now let's talk about what it sounds like. Making new sounds with your mouth can feel a little awkward at first, for sure, but it's really just a matter of training your voice. Seriously, think of it like a physical skill, and it's 100% something you can achieve. And I have some fantastic news for you. Arabic is almost entirely phonetic. What does that mean? It means there's a one-to-one link between a letter and a sound. Words are written pretty much exactly how they're pronounced. Just think about English for a second. The th in 3 and the in the are 2 totally different sounds, but we use the same letters. In Arabic? Nope. It just uses 2 different letters. For you, this means once you learn the alphabet, you can pretty much say goodbye to spelling headaches. It's amazing.
To really get the pronunciation down, you've got to start thinking like an athlete. You're going to be using a much wider range of your mouth and throat. And I'm not kidding. You'll use muscles that you probably only use for gargling or coughing. It's all about becoming aware of what those muscles are doing and just practicing, like training for a sport.
Okay, this brings us to a super common and really important question that almost every beginner has. So, which Arabic should I actually learn? And to answer that, we've got to understand the different, let's call them registers, of the language.
The best way to think about it is that there are 2 main registers. On the left, you have formal Arabic. This is the one you learn in school, it's the language of books, the news, and official speeches. Then on the right, you have spoken Arabic. This is the language you learn at home. It's what people use in their daily lives, and it comes in all these wonderful regional flavors or dialects, like Egyptian or Levantine. To be truly fluent, you really need to get a feel for both.
But hold on, before you start to panic and think, oh great, I have to learn 2 completely separate languages, just take a look at this. This shows just how similar they can be. The greeting for hello is almost identical across formal, Egyptian, and Levantine Arabic. And the truth is, the huge majority of the vocabulary is shared across all forms of the language.
So what's the strategy here? It's actually pretty simple and really empowering. You don't have to master them all at once. The key is to pick one spoken variety, let's say Egyptian for example, to learn to use actively. Then you just learn to recognize the others so you can understand them. This is exactly what native speakers do all the time when they talk to people from different Arab countries.
Okay, so we've got the script down, we understand the sounds, and we know about the different varieties. Now let's talk strategy. How do we actually learn Arabic like a pro? What's the secret?
I absolutely love this quote because it completely reframes how we should think about this. It's not just about sitting and memorizing rules in a textbook. It's an active skill, just like playing a sport. It's about muscle memory, practice, repetition, and, this is the most important part, having some fun while you're building those skills. And here they are, the 5 core principles for your training regimen. First, study actively. Don't just read the words, say them out loud, write them down. Second, be audio-visual. Always connect the shape of the letters with the sound they make. Third, repetition, repetition, repetition. You are literally building muscle memory in your mouth and your brain. Fourth, you have to own it. Personalize the language. Use it to talk about your life, your world. And finally, number 5, review every single day. Language builds on itself, so you've got to constantly mix the new stuff in with what you already know.
We're going to end with this because honestly, it is the most important takeaway of all. Learning a language like Arabic takes time and it takes effort, but it is not some kind of magic. More than anything else, your success is going to come from your own belief that you can do it. So feel inspired, feel capable, and go start your Arabic journey.